forget you're recording on QuickTime. Your audio. I know. I have Adobe Audition. What up?
Well, are we fancy?
I know. I am fancy. That's exactly the point I was making.
So just the audio? Because if I do movie, it'll technically have both, but it won't be split up. So whatever you want me in.
No, I can split it up later.
Okay,
remember? So yeah, just do both. Recording. Might as well. We'll see if it looks better.
Oh, where's that? Oh, because the camera's cut off on this one. That's why I was like, why am I seeing so much more here?
Oh yeah. Yeah, mine's, I think of the way that I have it, mine's stacked instead of side by side.
Oh, is it? How do I change that?
Yeah, you got to make your window narrower.
Really?
Yeah, so drag your browser window smaller and it'll stack them. I don't know why I did that for me.
It just keeps squishing you though.
Oh, weird.
Oh, there we go. Finally. God, it has to be super small.
Yeah, or the other option is you could make it big, like your whole screen again, and then just double click on one of them. In the top right hand corner, there's expand frame, so I can just make you the hero image, and then I'm on the. But yeah, it could do it that way.
Oh, would you look at that? That's so much better, actually. Now I can
technology.
All right, so now I can actually angle myself with this camera or with this program. And then I can look at you, make sure I'm in frame. It's actually nice because I can look here to see if I'm in frame. And
yeah. What is that behind your head? Is that an animal?
It's a snake.
Is that really a snake? You have a pillow with a snake on it? That's a Pokemon. Don't act like that's not a Pokemon.
No,
that's not just it's an anime snake?
Yeah.
Why do you have that?
Because pillows were just so basic. Like I wanted
to...
No, pillows. Pillows were just so basic,
the regular
right?
one like that.
It's just a square, and so I wanted. Yeah. I wanted to, up the ante a little bit, and so I saw this, and I was like, absolutely, I am. Right? Because I don't know. I mean, you can be basic. Like, think about it. Everybody has a pillow, right? That's like, how many people have
magnetic pillow though?
How many people have?
I mean, that's fine. Pillows? I'm just asking because I'm looking at your eyes, and then there's a pair of snake eyes also looking at me right now,
creeping around behind me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Hey,
it's like literally like, yeah. This is what it looks like from my side of the. It's just
yeah. Just like poking his head out. Like, look at that. Huh? What up, little guy?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, protecting me.
I'm protected by the snake on my chair.
By the snake.
Oh my god. Yeah. Are you wearing a Spider-Man sweatshirt?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I loved those sweatshirts because everybody saw the gold, the black and gold. And now that the movie's out, this is not like a spoiler or anything, but everybody saw the black and gold and they're like, oh, that's cool. He's not going to have red and blue anymore. And it turns out that it was just the Spider-Man outfit inside out with the wires on the outside.
The thing is,
everybody's like, no, it's not the suit.
In the comics, it's like a major, like, not reveal, but suit change, right? He gets like this whole black and gold outfit, or for some reason, I don't know. This is a Kevin question, but it's supposed to be a big deal that he gets a suit change in the comics. So people saw it in the movies, or at least the previews. They're like, oh my God, the new suit. And not a new suit.
And it's a fake out. It's a fake out. They've done that a few times though, where the trailer's different than the actual movie. Like in Endgame, it was the Hulk running with everybody in Wakanda, and he never made it to Wakanda. Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, they do that a couple times where they psych you out. I just think it was funny that they did the gold suit, kind of teasing it, but that actually went into a lot of commerce. Yeah. Like everybody made a Spider-Man T-shirt and sweatshirt for people to buy for this movie, but it turns out that was only in the movie for 15 seconds as he's running through like the soup kitchen or something like that. And he shows up and oh my God, and then she cleans his suit and he's got the regular suit back.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
but the fact that everybody made one, the company that you're currently wearing, Target, all of these people had the gold suit, and it was like, oh, whoops, that was kind of a fake out for the trailer.
Yeah. People went in deep with this, and it went nowhere.
At least in the story, but if you see the black and gold sweatshirt, you know that it's from No Way Home, and it's because the Spider-Man director was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it was still pretty cool. But
I thought so.
yeah, I mean, it's a cool design. I like it. Like I don't know. Black and gold's a good mixture. You know what I mean?
You have a bunch of stuff that's black and gold. You have that American flag hat that's black and gold.
I do. Oh yeah. I haven't worn that in a long time.
Well, you haven't been shooting in a while.
Today. I was gonna go wear a hat today, but I totally forgot.
Did you go somewhere?
No, I just finished working out and I was like sweaty, so I was just like, I'm just gonna wear a hat and it'll hopefully cover up the sweat. But
there you go. Yeah, I do that like with the backwards cap sometimes, just to get this sweat. It's like, I think it's this black one down here, but it's got like the white sweat
point
stain
to
on
the
it.
massive hats in the back. That looks like
The rack here.
Looks like a wasp hive.
It's all 49er hats, so you may not be. And Giants on the bottom. Yeah. Did you have your LLC in last, as in 2022 at any point?
Yeah,
I'm asking because I have to, like, I've had my LLC for a while now, and I have to do my taxes still, and I realize I've only got like 3-4 weeks left.
Yeah, you got to get on that, man.
No, my appointment's tomorrow, but I have to I have to go through and do all of my expenses basically, which is like, all of the deductions that I'm going to have for the year. And it's like, I have them all. I just have like been procrastinating putting them in. And every year it's the same thing where I know I have to go in and do this because I bought new microphones and new video equipment and all this other stuff. It's like, I can write that off on my taxes. And then I wait until the last minute to do it. Now I have to go back and do all of them at once.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, man. Right?
Did you do it for 2022?
I did. But I guess luckily for me is that I got it in, was it November or early December 2022. So I didn't have much to write off. But
okay.
So this year, well, granted,
it's going to be a lot.
It did take me like an hour and a half to do my taxes with a consultant last year. Or not that last year, for this year.
Oh, yeah.
Or
I have somebody do my taxes for me. Oh, yeah. I absolutely know nothing about tax law.
It's insane. Like, if you start a business, like, I mean, I don't know. You can figure it out. Technically, that's what a lot of people tell me. Is you can figure it out. It's not that bad. I'm like, man, there are people who are experts at one thing. I am not an expert at taxes, and I don't really have a huge desire to be.
Right. That's the one thing. And it's also, I don't really like granted, it's taxes, so you're not going to like the way that it goes anyway. Yeah. But it's like, it's almost like you have to tell me everything that you owe me. You know what I mean? Like, and don't lie or go to jail. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it feels really weird to do it the way that we do it, but it has to be done. But that's that thing where it's like the stakes are a little too high for me to, because there was one year I did my own taxes on, I think, TurboTax or something like that. And it was like, you owe $10,000. I'm like, I'm going to go to a professional and have them do this. And they were like, you don't owe $10,000. You did it.
The hell I am.
Okay. You're absolutely right. I messed that up. My bad. And let's keep going. So yeah, it was the year that Lauren had had a bunch of stock and stuff that she cashed out, and then it was like, we have the 43 pages. It's like, how much stock did you? It's like, I don't know what any of those words mean. But doing it for business now, it's like, now I have to understand what those things are, and it's like what an LLC is, what your tax ID is, what your EIN is, and being in business, it's like, well, you kind of learn that organically, but you do get thrown in the deep end.
Yeah.
Did I tell you my business license was suspended the first year or the second year that I had my LLC?
I remember you telling me that, because like there was something you didn't fill out, or like, no, it's something the tax, or you hired somebody to help you out, right?
It's exactly right. I went and I hired a tax person to do my taxes for me, and I even gave him. So for anybody listening, that when you have an LLC, you have what's called a Schedule C, which just means all the money that you made and all the money you spent on stuff. So you bring that, and then they do your taxes for you. So I brought that in, and he just didn't know that he had to fill out this one specific form that's like, it basically claims that you have an LLC, that you are the one that owns it. And if you don't fill that out, the state assumes that you didn't pay your taxes for the actual company. And for like 2 years in a row, he didn't do it.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden I get this notification that's like, you owe a couple $1,000 and you didn't fill these things out. And it turns out I didn't, because I paid my taxes, but it just never got filed that way. So I'm like, this motherfucker didn't fill the thing out.
Oh, man. Is there like some sort of insurance against that with the person you're filing with, right? Because it's not your mistake.
Yeah, there is. And if you go through some of the bigger companies, like did H&R Block, and they have the insurance where it's like, if there's a mistake on our end, we'll pay for it. So any of the fees and penalties and stuff like that, they pay for, which is nice, which was very nice. But if it's money that you would have already owed, they're like, no, it's still on you, man. It's just a few years backlogged. Right. Nobody told you owed it. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Now that we've started the podcast with the very exciting topic of taxes,
oh baby,
let's talk about business with kids around. You've been over to my house enough times that you know how much attention little kids take.
Okay, I've been thinking about this, man. And everyone says that, kids take a lot of attention, kids keep you busy. I feel like...
Where are you going with this?
I feel like your kids figured this out at an early age and took advantage of it.
Of what? Oh, well, every kid knows that and takes advantage of it. Every single little kid on the planet knows that the more attention they require, the more that they get.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, my little children know that, and they know that me and their mom will give them more attention the more that they're
everything is fine, and all of a sudden spaghetti's on the ceiling. And,
right.
Someone's
this morning it was yogurt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Reagan had one of the little drinkable yogurts, and she has never met a step she hasn't fallen down. So she literally walks up to the step and just throws her yogurt down, and it just all over the ground. And I was like, it's like 6:30 in the morning. I don't want to have to clean up a whole yogurt off of the ground right now. Yeah. But the point of this conversation is, like, when you're trying to operate a small business, like how hard it is to do that. Like when you're from your house, when you're there are little kids around, and I think you've been here when we've tried to do a podcast like this on the weekend, and all of a sudden there's little kids running up, or even the dog, where we put the dog back in the room because she was like whining at us to pet her while we're trying to chat about business. And then all of a sudden my wife was like, why are you in the bedroom, and lets her out.
Yeah. Hey, look who's back.
Yeah. Look at that. She's back. It's the kids too. What's funny is I've done webinars before just for anybody. And what's funny is, like, Kennedy will know that if I'm talking in like presentation voice, that if she asks me for something, that I have to give it to her. Do you know what I mean? So like she'll come and stand right here and just smile at me and go, "Daddy, snack." And I'm talking on the phone right now. I'll talk to you. And she'd be like, "Daddy, I want a snack." I'm like, "God damn it. Okay, go get a snack." And then she'll run and go get it and be like, "Dad told me I could have it." So I'm like, okay, I like that she's learning. She's learning.
Just not that.
Yeah. She's learning how to get what she wants. And I am a little bit apprehensive about it being like the manipulative ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. She's taking advantage of your soft heart, man.
Well, I was taking advantage of my busy schedule, I think is what it is. But that too, yeah. And they're just lovely, wonderful, squishy little babies. So it's fun. Squishy little babies, yeah.
I mean, when your kids are home, do you actually get any work done?
Sometimes. It depends if Lauren's here too. Like if my wife is around and she can keep them out there. I have a lock on this door, which you can see right here. That's, if they come in, if they're starting to bust in while I'm actually doing work.
You both work though. right? So what
we
you both
do,
work.
and so on days when they're both home, or when let's say one of them's sick, or all of them are sick, and we have to keep them home, then yeah, there is like we have to switch off. So it's like, okay, when are the meetings? That's the important stuff. You have to be there for the FaceTime stuff, because once they go to bed, then you can actually get work done, which happens a lot anyway. I think when you're somebody that does, like a creator like me. Yeah. A lot of times if your day is filled with meetings, well, you still have deliverables. So it's like you spend your whole day talking to people about the stuff that you're making, and then you actually have to make it when there's nobody else around. So it's like at night, first thing in the morning, the first 2 hours of my day, and then at nighttime. Those are like when I actually make things. You know what I mean?
So you got to drug them to get stuff done.
Yeah, exactly. Just needle to the neck, and all of a sudden.
No, wait, weren't you the one saying the chloroform video?
The chloroform. Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Time in a bottle.
The the spray, and the doctor reads it. This is just chloroform.
It's chloroform.
Yeah. I found out that, by the way, chloroform, it's not like you breathe it and you just pass out. It's more like it replaces oxygen. So you don't pass out. It like knocks you out. Oh. So it takes a minute. Like you have to replace people's breath. Yeah. So that's like a weird thing. I wouldn't do that to my children. Like,
we're just gonna replace my child's oxygen. There you go.
Yeah, with chloroform, they'll be fine. Yeah. Just out. Here we go. We're probably gonna have to cut this portion out.
No, actually, I'm curious about how this, because the chloroform rag thing, obviously, that's from the movies.
Sure.
Right? But who got that idea? They're like,
I think that is how it works if you're going to use chloroform to knock somebody out. I think you do have to like put it on a rag and put it in front of their face. Yeah, it just doesn't kill them. It just knocks them out. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're going to be struggling for a minute.
For a good 15, 20 seconds. Yeah. It's almost like doing a sleeper hold. You know what I mean? Like if you put somebody in a rear naked choke, they don't pass out right away. It does take like 10 seconds for that to happen. So it is one of those things where it's like, do you like, oh, okay. Not that I know from experience. That's what I've read. That's just what I've heard from various places.
One day my wife was getting real mean with me. So I sprayed her with some nap time.
The nap time spray. And then she's just saying, "You son of a bitch," and then I pass out. Yeah. I'm sorry, Lauren.
I'm just getting you in more trouble.
David started the joke. What's that?
I'm just here to get you in trouble.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. So we've made some moves with Swole Bears, and by Swole Bears I mean Swole Bears because that's the old name. There were three things that happened since the last time we talked. One, there's the melting bears story. Yeah. About your shipping companies. Well, okay, so you can't have anything that will melt in more than 175 degrees?
100. So Amazon, and this is a brand new thing with Amazon, is that starting last year, you have to put a melting point on your product. And it over the summer months. So luckily, it's only 6 months out of the year. If it's above 155 degrees and it melts or deforms or whatever, right? Because like think about thin plastics, whatever. You can't store it in their warehouse. Okay. And so as a gummy, that melts at like 100 degrees. Or actually 95. 95 technically. And so I'm like, crap. Right? Yeah. Like this is awful. And so, my first thought is like, well, this can't be right? Because like, who's working in 155 degrees? I mean, I know Amazon has some questionable things that they do, but that's insane. But no, it's going to be like their trucks, right? As you think about truck in the desert, heat, it's like an oven, right? And so I think 155 degrees is pushing it, but I think they want to be safe.
Sure.
So I had to kind of go back to the drawing board with this one because I was like, what am I going to do? Right. I put in so much effort and all this time and all my things is just you're going to get basically a gummy bar, as they call it, or a bottle of gelatinous nothing.
I think if anybody that's eaten gummy bears before, they've left a bag of it in their car, come out and realize it's just one big gummy blob now, right? You've never done that? Yeah. You've never had Haribos in your car and all of a sudden you come back, you rip it and it's just like a burger patty of gummy?
I don't know, actually. No. I know it can happen, but I don't.
Well, some of us are irresponsible and do things like that.
Generally, all my gummies are like vitamins and stuff, and I keep them in my house in the room or something, not in a car.
You don't eat candy, huh? That's it? That's what you're going with?
I mean, chocolate. It's happening with chocolate, right?
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a Snickers that all of a sudden looks like the guy from Indiana Jones who got his face melted off. You're like, that.
Oh, you went there. Okay, I'm glad you went there. I was going somewhere else with that one, but
where were you?
Right. So you've seen Dave Chappelle?
Yes.
And what was it? Tyrone Biggums?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
There's like a scene where he takes a dump, right? And there's a so Dave Chappelle actually talked about this scene because he said that what they did is they took a Snickers and put it on the ground and then took like a blow dryer and melted the Snickers and to make it look like poo.
The dookie.
Yeah, and so the guy doing it, he was spraying it and he touched it to make sure it was melted. He had some on his hands. He was just like,
yeah.
It's.
I remember that one. It's doo-doo, baby.
But,
gross.
Tom's a very wholesome person. So.
Yes, we were talking about Indiana Jones and somebody's face melting off. Much more wholesome than the doo-doo.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All right. So I had to fix this problem, right? So I did a lot of research, right? So I have this huge list of articles and research on chocolates and makeup, actually, because makeup has to not melt as well. And so the two things I found, chocolate is a big on shipping, right? How you ship chocolate is so important. So they use either like a styrofoam, somewhere like, I don't forget. It's basically like a tinfoil looking hat thing that they stuff it in, cold packs and whatever. To make it the temperature last or not get as hot as quickly. But the problem with this, I found, is that it only works for about 2 weeks, right? Because it slows the temperature. But then after about 2 weeks, it's going to match the temperature that's outside. So I'm like, okay, like that's great if I'm shipping like constantly.
Right.
But let's go worst case scenario. My stuff's sitting in a warehouse for like a month or two.
Sure. But I mean, it's gummy bears. They should have a longer shelf life than that. But, you also want to have some inventory. You don't want to always. Yeah,
not shelf life. Not shelf life. The gummies are gonna have a long shelf life. It's more of them sitting in the sun for 2 months.
No, I understand, but that's what I'm saying is you want to have some inventory stocked up. But you don't want to constantly be like, we're sold out until next week when we get our new. You want to be able to sell as many as people are buying.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have some that are sitting for a while. It's like Costco model. You think when you're buying that mixed nuts thing that's like the jug of them, you think it's been sitting there for one day? No, it's been there for a little while.
Yeah, no, totally. Exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm like, okay, this could help a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be the solution. So I started looking into makeup and how they do it. And there is this substance out of Brazil called, I'm going to butcher this, carnauba wax, which is edible. But it's in everything apparently, right? So it's like on whatever that lip stuff women use.
You mean chapstick that just women use?
No, not chapstick. The red chapstick that's not chapstick.
Lipstick?
There you go, that one.
More reasons David does not live with a woman.
I mean, I'm not a girl dad, right? More reasons.
Children do not use lipstick. They're 5'3"
Tom is surrounded by women.
That's true. I actually saw that yesterday. Lauren was sitting on the couch, and all three of the girls were sitting on her. And I'm like, wow, there's 4 girls in my house, and they're all occupying one cushion on my couch right now.
As the dog looks up.
Yeah, 5, motherfucker. Yeah.
What am I to you?
Good old Olive. Yeah. I know. She's been coming and sleeping under my desk now because she's like so bored during the day.
Oh no!
It's like, well, because she's just here with me all day, so like she'll knock on the door, she'll like hit her head on the door, and then come in and just sleep under the desk. Yeah, exactly. Have you fed me yet? I'm like, yes, I fed you in the morning. Yeah. So that was only one of a few hiccups you came across for the most iteration of Swole Bears. The other was you were having a cost problem and with the manufacturers, I feel like it's pretty commonplace for them. It's almost like make me an offer kind of thing where they give you a price and then you can negotiate it down. But they gave you a price that would have basically been a wash, right? There was you would have made no profit. You would have been able to sell them and then continue making them, but that's all. No money was going to come out of that.
Yep, I would have been breaking even every single time, and which would have been no weird point to doing it. Right?
Yeah. So what was the conversation you had with them? Because I'm interested to know this. Like, you know, when you're a content creator like I am, like you the cost of things does get negotiated. It's like every single contract is like, well, okay, well, how much is this going to be? Can we make it that? Does it have to be this? And so what was the conversation like per? Because you were literally talking about individual gummy bears. Like you were talking about a few cents per gummy bear, not necessarily the entire order, right?
Yeah. So I asked basically I kind of asked them to knock off the price per gummy bear, just 2 cents. That's all I asked. 2 cents per gummy bear, right off the top, and then up the amount of protein in it, so that way I could put less gummy bears in the jar. There's someone who's like, there's some like pickle manufacturer or pickle company, Dill, I guess. They figured out if you take out one pickle out of every single jar, you'll save, I think it was like $10 million a year. One pickle.
Yeah, but then I'm not getting my pickle.
Right. I was like, look at pickles. So it's like these like tiny little things make huge differences.
Okay.
So I had this huge spreadsheet doing all this math or whatever, figured out, okay, I did a bunch of different price points too, right? So not just to give them like one option, like, hey, I need this. I say, okay, these are the two almost, I don't want to say extremes because I could have gone more extreme, but I was like, these are the two things that need to change. Like for it to work, this has to reach this point or this has to reach this point. And this being the price has to reach this point for it to work. Protein has to reach this point for it to work. Right now, neither one of these are there. So one or both of these has to change. And it was last year, I read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, which is one of the best books I've ever read. It is so useful for learning how to talk to people and just reframing how you're very thinking. Well, there goes the snake.
That's probably okay. That's probably fine. No! It's gone. I don't have to stare at the stupid snake eyes anymore.
Oh, man. I'm just going to get a giant snake behind me now, like on the wall. It's like snake is.
You're like my brother. Like anything that I say annoys me or like, game on, motherfucker. This is like... You know what I don't like? When people fart in my room and leave my door open. And it's like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Just don't give us fuel, man.
Yeah. What were you talking about?
It was snakes, pricing. Oh, Dale Carnegie. So I've been using the robots that are taking over.
Yeah.
So I used some AI. Okay, I wrote out this email about basically everything I want, or everything I wanted to propose, everything that I need to change, and my normal vernacular and writing language, which is very direct and not the most flowery. And generally, I've gotten... People have read my emails in the past and been like, oh, man, this guy's a dick. And then they meet me in person. They're like, oh, no, he's not. He just sucks at writing emails.
You just need to write in your own voice and not write like a robot.
Yeah, which is tough, man. So the odd thing is, I had a robot rewrite my rewrite my email.
I hate this AI stuff so much. You're using a robot to connect with people. You realize how weird that is.
It's my thoughts, my ideas, just now in a different tone.
Sure.
So that's all. I just asked it to change my tonality, not run the company for me.
Right.
So change my tonality, read it, proofread it, changed things that needed to be changed, sent it off. It took them 7 days. Can you not? 7 days to reply to me. They were probably going in the back, like having all these meetings and everything about what's going on. I didn't know any of this stuff, what's going on. I still don't. And so I'm over here like day 6 having no response going, maybe I need to find a new manufacturer. I think these guys just go like, this guy's off his rocker. We can't work with him.
Yeah. And then what happened?
Day 7 rolled around, email in the morning. Okay, we can do all of that.
Yeah.
Lowered the price, up the protein.
That's what's up, bro. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good
Yeah, it's amazing, and everything was great. And that's when I got the email from Amazon, and I was like, guys, this is amazing. Now, can we change the formula?
Yeah. Now, let's just switch it up a little bit.
Okay. So the like, oh, come on, man.
Can we? Oh, so you want to put less gummies? This is like the pickle thing. You want to put less gummies in there.
It's not the. No, it's that I have to change how it's made in order to resist the heat.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, you were telling me about that, where it's like the food scientist guy couldn't figure it out, and then you did some research and found this like coating wax thing that's like basically going to let it, this really thin layer of something that will make it so it's not going to melt anymore. And I don't, I think your complaint was that like, why didn't he say that to me? Why wasn't he able to come up with that idea? I don't know. My analogy for that was like, it's almost like being a doctor, right? You know, if you're a podiatrist, you're not going to know how to fix somebody's heart. That's the end of that thought. Did you freeze? What happened? You weren't moving. You were just
no.
Deep in thought.
No, totally. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's definitely been very helpful. It's just, you know, because when I brought up the heating thing, he's like, "Yep, we should definitely be changing the packaging and not messing with the formula." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, we'll look into that." And then once I found this out,
what does the packaging have to do with anything?
Because that was my 2 suggestions with it. I was like, okay, we can either work with the packaging or we can try and change something in the formula in order to help resist the heat. And he's saying that, you know, if we change the formula, it could lower the amount of protein in it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, packaging should be the way to go. And then I found this out, and then I came back, and he's just like, yeah, that'll work. Let's do that. But it's weird, right? Because he didn't suggest that right away. But when I told him about it, he knew exactly how to implement it.
What do you mean?
Because it's not, you don't just like dip it in wax or whatever, right? There's like a process of how it works. So you need like a tumbler and a mister and all this other stuff. And he knew all of that. I was like, how?
Oh, so he should have come up with it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I poke the bear a lot. And so I'm trying not to poke the bear more, just to figure out.
That's like the job of the CEO of any company, though, is like to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be so much of a pain in the ass they don't want to work with you anymore, but they're a vendor of yours, and you're paying them to do these things.
Absolutely. I mean, like, it's kind of like the choosing your battles thing, right? It's like, okay, we found a solution. I'm not going to be like, well, why didn't you figure out this solution? Well, why did I have to come up with this? I'm like, we figured it out. Let's move on.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. So is he doing the wax thing or no?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So it's being worked on now.
So they are changing the recipe just a little bit.
Kind of. It's not. It's more. It's kind of weird, right? Because you're not changing what's in it. You're just changing what's on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of changing the recipe, but not really at the same time.
Okay. Well, at least they got done. That's the important part, right?
Yeah.
And now Amazon can sell your product, which is what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, this has been an ordeal.
Welcome to the party, dude. This is like how it goes with business. Is you're gonna have a lot of hiccups, and these are them. You know, we're gonna have to order a lot up front and get the recipe right. But then, once this thing starts to like go, you'll be able to. It'll just be on to take a mind of its own. Hopefully, and you'll be in charge of marketing and not recipe anymore, unless you want to come up with new flavors.
Eventually. That's a story for another day, I guess. I haven't thought beyond. Yeah, I should have another flavor at some point. That's as far as I thought.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez. Oh no.
Yeah.
Let's talk about fitness goals.
Well, hold up.
What?
You got a company too, man.
I do. We already talked about Blue Arrow though, and like working with kids around the house and all that stuff.
Actually, I had a shower thought.
Okay.
And I wanted to hear what you think. Right. I was thinking about merchandising.
Sure.
Right. Actually, because the reason I was thinking about this is because I was thinking about wearing your Blue Arrow beanie while we were doing this, and I was gonna be like, "Hey, Blue Arrow, Blue Arrow,
there it is."
But then I thought I was like, "Okay, I need to make
I do. I actually, you know what's funny? I like the old hats better. The ones that the first hats that I made, because I got new ones that were just like plain black and then the text, but it looks way too plain. I was like, it's just going to be really generic, sort of like, I think a lot of big brands have things and they're really simple. So it's like Nike with just the swoosh, or it just has the letters across. But this one, it just looks so plain. I was like, oh, I think I like the old one better.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess I have the old one, so I think.
Yeah, that beanie too, and that's like I made more of those too, which I like, because those were cool. Yeah. But so you were gonna wear the merch.
Yeah, and then I was thinking like, okay, once I launch everything, I could make some merch, and Tom could wear a Swole Bears beanie, and like we're wearing each other's beanies, and it'd be cool and funny. But then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, what is the point? What is the point of having the merch, right? It's it's to show your brand, and then people will maybe see your brand, recognize your brand, and then like maybe look up your brand and then figure out what you do or whatever.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's sort of like the pink mustache on. Do you remember back in the days when Lyft first came out and everybody was like, what the hell are all those pink mustaches doing around San Francisco? It's like, and honestly, I was like, that's kind of a Wednesday in San Francisco, is people driving around with a pink mustache on their car. But then it eventually became, what is that thing? And people look it up. Oh, it's the new rideshare service. So I think it's similar to that, where people will see your brand, and the more brand awareness that people have, the more brand recognition that you have, the more likely they are to purchase those items. Or in my case, like I have the Blue Arrow hats and the beanies and stuff like that. It's like I would wear that if I were going out to a shoot. So if I were going to go and photograph somebody, or, do a video shoot or something like that, it's like I'm able to wear my company while I'm going out to do that job, and hopefully get more brand awareness while people are looking at that, and they'll remember it the next time that they need something.
Right. So this is actually kind of where my thought was going, right? Because I was like, okay, for Swole Bears, it's pretty simple what I can make. like clothes people work out in. Simple.
Sure.
Right. And my thought is that, okay, what you would make, is it a good idea, or how relevant is it to make something that's relevant to, or I guess adjacent to, what your company is doing, right? So mine is like a protein supplement, workout clothes adjacent to it, right? So Blue Arrow is a media company. So would it be better to make merch that's adjacent to media? Now, I don't know what that would be per se. I mean, because I don't think you can have your own camera line, but...
No, eventually there are guys that do. Like Peter McKinnon has camera bags, which I have actually two of those, which they're incredible, and like there's little tools and filters and stuff like that. So yes, to answer your question, yes, but you have to be really successful in order to do that. But I think in terms of like for the purposes of brand recognition and marketing and stuff like that, the clothing and just having t-shirts and hats and stuff like that is it's a good place to start. Now I like your idea of having the workout clothes because people will be using that, and I also like the idea of having a pink shirt with a gummy bear on it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that would be really cool. So it's like people are going, oh, you eat Swole Bears or Swole Bears, excuse me, I keep saying the old name, but
no, whatever, man, it's Swole.
The Swole Bears. All right, I'm just gonna keep all the Swole Bears. But yeah, having it's like a gummy bear, the flexing gummy bear that just says Swole on it, and it's Swole. That's even better. Where it's like, okay, it's the Swole Bear. You know what I mean? So and that's good brand recognition for you, for people that are working out, right? Yeah. So people that are, if they're obviously they're going to need protein, right? So it's like, what is the gummy bear thing? It's like, oh, we're revolutionizing how people can eat gummy bear or protein now, and it's in the form of gummy bears. Check it out.
Yeah. So yeah, I wonder, is there like a small, not super expensive media tool that you could like slap your brand on?
That's a good question. No. I mean, the quick answer is no, because pretty much anything in terms of cameras and mics and lighting and all that, it's all really expensive.
Sure. Which
it would be, yeah. But I'm sure there's company, even with t-shirt companies, it's like you can put your logo on something and then people can buy that item with the logo on it. Yeah. I just don't think, I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a minute. But I do think that there are a lot of people, like, for example, YouTubers that are actual media folks as well, where they have their line of stuff, Yeah. Like, what's her name? The TikTok person, Charlie D'Amelio. She's got like a line of ring lights. You know what I mean? So like people can buy a ring light that's hers. You know what I mean? So yeah, to answer your question, there are ways to do that, but I think you have to have like a pretty big following before you can do something like that.
Sure.
Plus, why would consumers use that? If somebody is a media person like me, and my clients are people that would get photographs, not necessarily. They wouldn't need the equipment in order to take that.
You know what I mean? I guess that's kind of. Maybe that's more along the lines of, to be thinking about, not necessarily. Like a media equipment, but someone who would need a media person, something that they would use. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now that you say that, what like something like frames?
Maybe maybe like, I don't know, maybe not a frame, because in order for a frame to be good and see the logo, you'd have to like take the frame off and like look at the back or something.
Oh, right. There can't just be a bullseye on the corner of every one.
Yeah.
For those listening, my logo for Blue Arrow Media is a bullseye with a blue arrow in it. But you can't just have bullseyes on everything, that actually would look pretty cool, I think, if just in the bottom corner a little bullseye.
Yeah. Or maybe like, I don't know. I don't know why the first thing that came to my mind is like coasters. Like, everybody drinks coffee. Actually, that kind of be cool. Have a bullseye as a coaster. Now think about it.
A coaster or a mug. Like the coffee mugs would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just start sipping your coffee on your meetings with like the bullseye on it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
We're brainstorming. I love this. This is great.
I was like looking around for my mug. I was like, my mugs. Good idea.
Yeah, I know. I have a Green Arrow and Hawkeye mug, which I think is hilarious. Just because I'm an archer and I need them all.
Yeah. Pokemon for archers.
Yeah. Yes. There's got to be an archery Pokemon. Arrowy.
Yeah, arrowy.
Yeah.
Just has a Kevin question.
He has a mustache that turns into a bow and arrow.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. Right? I can picture it being like a porcupine too.
Oh, there you go.
Right? He just takes out a quill.
And he just pulls it straight down.
The mustache.
Yeah. There you go. All right, Pokemon, if you're listening, I have your next idea.
Yeah. Quillzor or something.
Quillzor. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with that.
Dude.
All right. Now let's talk about fitness goals. I liked that topic though. That was good. Is trying to figure out, because I think, and you know, I guess in terms of merch and stuff like that, there's a lot of companies, like when I worked at Tarantino's, the poultry and seafood company, their big thing was calendars. Like, so they would just get calendars and at every big restaurant chickens? And no, it was just be like a desk calendar, like the ones that you would tear off and you'd have the whole, it was the huge calendars. So they would have these things because everybody had a desk, you know what I mean? In the food service industry, you have to you can't work from home. You have to be there, right? So on all of their desks, they would have this big Tarantino's calendar and every year they would get a new one. So I like the idea of that where it's okay, well, what is your client base going to use and how do you remind them that they can call you for that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's the brainstorm, man. Moving forward.
Okay. Merch. I like it. Have you started a merch line yet? Have you started because you have your logo, you could easily contact, what's the t-shirt company? The one that you can just drop in a logo and people can buy it from the store?
It wasn't Vistaprint, was it?
That's the one where you would buy them and get the shirts sent to you and then you can hand those out. But there's a one where you can upload a logo and then have different colors and stuff like that. And then as people order shirts, they'll just make them and then ship them to those people that buy them.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's things I've thought about. I think, I don't know. Honestly, it's just kind of one of those things that on the back burner.
Gotcha.
Once I launch, I can start thinking about that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them in here. Oh, Teespring. That's it. That's what it's called. Yeah. That way you can just drop your logo and just drop it to your community and go, hey, anybody that wants a gummy bear shirt. But if you get gummy bear shirts, you better get me one. I want two because I want to cut the sleeves off of one. And I want it to be pink.
Why don't I just make them sleeveless?
Just tank tops. There you go. Sleeveless gummy bear shirt.
I'll do the variety, short sleeve.
Because I want to look like a Care Bear when I'm working out. All right. I want it to be on my belly. I want to be curling 120 pounds with a Care Bear on my stomach. All right.
Oh my god, dude! I can envision this too. That's the beauty of it.
It's not that hard. Speaking of which, what are your fitness goals? What do you hope to get out of ideal situation? And historically, it feels like most people's fitness goals, and you've heard this from every celebrity ever. It's I want to look like Brad Pitt from Fight Club. That's it. That's the body type that people want is Brad Pitt from Fight Club. And I feel I don't know. I'm a bigger guy. Even if I were to do the absolute fitness, there's no way I'm going to be 150 pounds with 3% body fat. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm obviously going to be a giant either way. So I'm I feel my fitness goal isn't Brad Pitt from Fight Club. I feel it's I want to look like Superman. That's what it is. I just want to be huge. So what are yours?
Gorilla.
Exactly. If I could look like a silverback gorilla walking down the street. That's what I want out of fitness.
I want something realistic for I want to go anime character. I'm just gonna be
that's realism is the anime Goku. Character.
I'm gonna be Goku. I'm trying to be real.
He does seem attainable, right? Because he doesn't he's jacked, but he doesn't seem unattainably jacked, is he?
Yeah.
Let's grab a freaking picture of Goku. Here.
I just have to mess with gravity and start training and 100 times Earth's gravity.
Jeez. I've got a 60-pound weight vest you can start with.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, maybe. All right, let's pull up some Goku images.
Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah, that seems attainable. Here we go. There's no way.
0% body.
Yeah. You can see the guy's individual rib muscles.
Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe not Goku.
Yeah, come on. Anything anime is not going to be realistic. It's if a woman was I want to look like Bulma. It's okay, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Or what's the Tomb Raider's? What's her name? Laura Croft. Yeah, it's like I want to look like her. It's like, you do realize that they put the person that was making the original Laura Croft character entered the wrong values in for chest and butt. It was ended up being 10 times bigger than it was supposed to be. Like, that's the truth. They accidentally made them that big, and then everybody loved it anyway, so they just left it. Like, that's how crazy that is.
I think it was like the director or something. Like, he was like showing it, and he actually like clicked the wrong thing. He's like, "Oh, my bad. I'm gonna go back." He's like, "No, leave it."
Why don't you leave it? Why don't you leave that? I really hope my company is not looking at my search history, because I'm just like typing in shirtless Superman. Okay. This man is jacked, but this doesn't seem like it's too far. I mean, okay, that's pretty out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Superman's not. Oh, okay.
Well, I mean Henry Cavill. Let's be realistic. I'm talking about the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at like shirtless pictures of Henry Cavill.
I know. That's amazing, right?
He's very hairy.
He actually, I heard that he fought to keep all that hair, the chest hair. They were like, you need to get your chest waxed. And I guess there was some old comic where he's like, hold on, source material. He's a big proponent of the source material being accurate. And he goes, in this comic, that's what it looks like. And he does at some point have his shirt off, and he's got the beard and stuff like that. So yeah, he fought to keep all the chest hair.
One comic where Superman has hair.
You know, I was thinking about it, though. If everything on him is like super, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of razor does he use? Does he have to use like a laser beam to get like shave his face?
I was always wondering about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he like uses a mirror or something and shoots himself with his eye lasers.
That cannot be true.
No, I'm pretty sure he's just like.
I hate that I know that. Oh my God. Speaking of terrible jokes, why are dad jokes so funny?
Because they're brilliant.
Because they are so funny. They really are. And that's like, I feel like, anytime I tell my wife a dad joke, it's like the eye roll. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you
mean. So I do feel a bit like it's one of those things where, like, if you can think of a really good dad joke, it's one of those things where you think it's really funny and everybody else is like, I hate you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I think I tried to look. I had like 30 seconds before we started. I was actually trying to look up articles about this, about why are they so funny? Why are they good? People have literally looked at to see if there's a scientific reasoning behind why dad jokes are the way they are.
Because some people love to piss everyone off.
Yeah, the results are inconclusive, but they're like someone's trying to make the claim about testosterone and like somehow relating to humor.
Yeah. What did the horse say when he fell down?
I don't know.
I've fallen and I can't giddy up. See? It's so good. What is a bear without bees?
Ears?
Ears. It's not as funny if you get it right. I was gonna say honey lists or something like that, but no, it's ears. You got it right. Fine.
How did the farmer with a round barn die?
I don't know how.
He couldn't find a corner to pee in.
Okay. Oh, this one. You're gonna love this one. What do you call a pile of cats?
What?
A mountain.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All right, I can see why people may not like these. All right, we're at an hour already.
Yeah.
That went by really fast, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to Tom and David Do a Podcast. We'll see you on the next one. These, I believe, we're releasing the first episode. What will be next week, but it will be 2 weeks after this one comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna see you back in time.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna. Yeah, exactly. Well, 2 weeks ago, I hope you enjoyed the first podcast. the first one, the only one we did in person. Which we'll do more. We'll do more in person.
Yeah, absolutely. We should try and do more in person.
Right on.
Those are fun. More dogs to play with.
Oh my God, the dogs. All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
All right. Stay funky fresh.
Yeah.